Hello everyone. Today we are going to continue our discussion on choice based
Optional theory paper, bioremediation and biomass utilization. We have already started with the second credit, biomass utilization. And in today's video, we'll be discussing the enzymatic degradation of cellulose. After watching this video, the students should know about the cellulosome protein complex present in cellulitic bacteria, as well as how these cellulitic bacteria interact with cellulose when present as a substrate, the different types of cellulases which are present and their mode of action. The students should also be able to justify the reactions involved in enzymatic degradation of cellulose. So as we discussed in our previous video, cellulose is one of the major constituents obtained from lignocellulosic materials. These lignocellulosic materials contain cellulose in the bound form. This cellulose is mainly bound to lignin and hemicellulose. Hence, to obtain free cellulose so that it can be used for production of many useful substances such as alcohol, this cellulose needs to be extracted. Various enzymatic reactions are performed for bringing about degradation of cellulose. The major source of cellulose degrading enzymes is bacteria and fungi. Many bacteria and funguses have the capacity to bring about degradation of cellulose through the concentrated action of the enzyme cellulases. So depending on if the bacteria is aerobic or anaerobic, the cellulase can be secreted either intercellularly or extracellularly. When the bacteria or fungi, mainly who are aerobic organisms, secrete large quantities of cellulase enzyme into the medium outside of the cell. On the contrary, anaerobic organisms, mainly anaerobic bacteria, have their cellulase activity restricted to a multi-protein complex. This multi-protein complex is known as the cellulosome. The cellulosome may be found on the external surface of the cell. Let us see the cellulosome protein complex. So this cellulosome protein complex has many enzymatic as well as structural components which are proteinaceous in nature.
The first protein is known as
As
scaffolding.
you can see in yellow color over here, this is the scaffoldin protein. This scaffoldin protein contains attachment sites for the cellulose binding domain as well as the cohesin protein. So the second component is the cellulase binding domain. As you can see in this orange color is the cellulosome uh, is the cellulose binding protein or cellulose binding domain. This is the actual site which will attach to the substrate, that is cellulose. The next structural component is cohesin. As you can see over here, the darker tone of yellow shows molecules of cohesin. Here you can see 9 cohesin molecules. These cohesin molecules serve as attachment sites for dockerin. Dockerin is yet another structural component which is further attached to the catalytic domains. The catalytic domains are shown in green, purple and blue color respectively, whereas the dockerin or the docking protein is shown in red color over here. The last structural component is the cell surface binding domain. As you can see over here that this brown colored small structure is the cell surface binding domain. This basically helps the cellulosome complex to be anchored to the microbial cell surface. So interaction of these cellulolytic bacteria with cellulose, that is when they come in contact with the substrate cellulase, how do these protein complexes bring about degradation? So as you can see in this diagram, the bacterial cell surfaces have multiple small protrusions. These protrusions are known to contain a number of copies of the cellulosome complex which we saw in the earlier slide. So because they contain many number of copies, one such complex is known as a polycellulosome complex, and bacteria are known to have a number of these. So as soon as the bacteria comes in contact with cellulose, these these protuberances start to extend. That is, they can come in contact easily with the cellulose, and once they come in contact, they deposit their cellulosome along the surface of the cellulose so as to bring about degradation. After seeing the structure, now let us move to the actual enzymes which are present in this cellulosome complex, and we'll also see their mode of action. So the first enzyme which is present is the endoglucanases. These endoglucanases are the enzymes which bring about the hydrolysis of the beta-1,4 linkages which are present between adjacent glucose molecules. They are mainly responsible for bringing about the hydrolysis within the amorphous region. The amorphous region is the loosely packed region of the cellulose polymer. In the next slide, we'll see the diagram which shows that there are two regions in cellulose. One is the crystalline region, other is the
Amorphous region.
so the endoglucanases mainly act on the amorphous or the loosely bound region, and because of this specific action in the amorphous region, it is known to break the chains in the middle. The next enzyme is exoglucanases. So after the action of endoglucanases, there is a nick created between the amorphous and the crystalline region. Your exoglucanases degrade the nicked cellulosome chain from the non-reducing ends and produce glucose, cellobiose, triose. The third enzyme which is present in the cellulosome complex is the cellobiohydrolases. Cellobiohydrolases are mostly found to be associated with cellulolytic funguses. They are known to remove about 10 or more glucose residues from non-reducing ends of the cellulose molecule, also type of exogluconases only. The last enzyme which is present in the cellulosome complex includes beta-galactosidase or cellobiase. These enzymes are known to convert the cellobiose or the cellotriose into glucoses. Now let us see the enzymatic degradation in detail with the help of a diagram. So as I mentioned earlier, the first enzyme to act is the endogluconases. As you can see in this diagram, cellulose is composed of a crystalline region and a loosely packed
amorphous region.
Your endogluconases will mainly act on this region and bring about cleavage of the beta 1,4 glycosidic bond which is present in the amorphous region of cellulase and generate smaller fragments. Now these smaller fragments are further degraded by action of exogluconases. Exogluconases has one more type, that is cellobiohydrolysis, which is present mainly in funguses. So from this end or the non-reducing end, these exogluconases will bring about hydrolysis and produce cellobios, which are known to contain 2-glucose residues, or cellotriose, which are known to contain 3-glucose residues. And in case of degradation with the help of cellohydrolases, there are 10 or more
Glucose residue present in the oligosaccharide.
After this, the beta glucosidase enzyme acts. This enzyme is known to bring about degradation of cellulose into glucose molecules. That is cellobiose, cellotriose, and these residues all will be converted into smaller subunits, that is glucose. So this is it about the enzymatic degradation of cellulose and the enzymes associated with it. In the next video, we'll be mainly focusing on different methods to isolate the prokaryotic cellulase genes
As the
form of cellulose by microorganisms, which can either be bacteria or funguses that produce various components of cellulose, is slow and often incomplete. Therefore, many genetic engineering strategies have been employed to create organisms which are much more effective um, in bringing about cellulase degradation or have a better cellulase activity. The major reference for figures and information used is Molecular Biotechnology, Principles and Application of Recombinant DNA by B.R. Gleek. Thank you so much.